Some of you went to film school, some of you didn't. Looking back, is there a lesson you wish you knew before you became a director, or as you are working as a director, if a film student came up to you and said, what did you not know that you should have known, you would have benefited from knowing? What would that be? Paul, I'll start over with you.
What, if I'd gone to film school?
No, just if you were imparting advice, there's something you learned in your filmmaking career, maybe a month or year too late, that you wish you'd known when you started becoming a director.
God, that's a hard one.
I'm glad they started over there, by the way. We're doing this.
Give you time. I'm going to jump to you next, John.
I mean, I think the truth is, you're always, every time you make a film, I don't know, but you always get to the end and go, well, now if I could make the film again, of course I'd know what I was doing. I mean, there's always a lag between what you discover during the making of the film and what you didn't know when you started. But that's, to go back to the earlier part of our discussion, that's the maddening paradox of filmmaking. Each film is a journey, or should be, towards something that you don't know. Otherwise, why do it? In other words, if you start with a paradigm for the film, whether it's commercial or creative, that is clear, so clear that you can speak it, then there's no point to making the film. The film has got to be, the process of making the film is the articulation of questions that are beyond words when you start. And then you get to the end and you go, well, it's that. Of course, it's that now. I see it's that. But you didn't know that at the start, so you're always out of step by one film. And you're always, it's just maddeningly just beyond the horizon.
So you're never going to be happy?
Never, never.
When I was in film school, I was taught to know what every scene is about and why that scene is there and what each character in that scene wants. And that killed the process for me. I did feel like by the time I got to 60 cards up with everything nailed down like that, right, I was so bored. And I would never finish a script that way. I felt like either I'd written it or created it. And so I stopped outlining and just kind of started writing. And it was a messier process and a scarier process, but it's my process. I'm now used to it. And I guess what I would say, especially for people in film school, we pay the teachers to tell us what to do and to tell us what's good and bad about what we're writing or directing. And I think take it to heart. No, don't take it to heart. You're paying these people and they're professionals, but ultimately you're going to hear a million voices.
Right.
And you have to still listen to your own and your gut, or you're just going to go home from school every day and cry and never finish anything and not know what you like and who you are and what you want to say. I think really trying to tune out the voices is important.
John, JC?
I echo what Nicole said. We're all very different personalities, different approaches, and yet we're all directors. You've got to find that best version of you as a director. And that can take a little while and some soul searching. And that's not to say you can't learn from other people and you should get as much experience as you can. But I think when you become content with what you bring to the table and what pleases you and what movie you want to make, there's great power in that. I would also say that I learned it fairly quickly in my first movie, but I wish I didn't start from a point of trying to justify everything. I wish that, I learned quickly that you have to be absolutely honest with actors, and sometimes the very best answer is, I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to think about it, but I don't know. And as opposed to coming in at your first week on your first movie and you're going, well, the da-da-da-da-da. No, they see through that BS. Just say, I don't know, and there's great power in that, too.
Yeah, don't try to
But I'll get back to you. I'll figure it out.
I'm not going to leave you hanging on this. Right. I just don't know the answer yet.
Jesse?
I think any time with the whole concept of a film school is you're sort of creating this idyllic situation to go make films, and that's not actually the situation that in this country that is set up to make films. It has to be this sort of war structure. So you're here to kind of learn those skill sets. for when that opportunity comes. But that's all it is. You have to be ready for like when your opportunity comes and the one that's going to be. Because if you pick the wrong one and you sort of burn yourself out. I actually tried to make a full-length film as a student film, as a college student, and I probably burned out like 5 years of my actual sort of real confidence and energy that I would have had on something that I wasn't ready to actually make at that point, and it totally set me back because I was like, by the time I'm 25, I want to be bang, 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 and have those things, and I sort of burned that emotion. You know, it's like takes a lot to put all this stuff out there, and if you do it and then it's a piece of junk, it can like set you back, and so you know. The life is very long, you know, and luckily the life of a filmmaker, if you're doing good work, it can be very long. And so it doesn't have to happen by any one time. You know, your path can be more wandering.
Spike, Steve, anything to
add? Yeah, I mean, I think everything everyone's saying I relate to and connect with. And I think maybe the only thing I could think to add is that one of the things that I've learned is that it's my job to know what the movie's about, and yet it's also my job to utilize everybody's opinion that I can and get ideas from everybody. And you know, because everyone has great ideas, but then it's my job to know what the right ideas are. And I work with incredible people. I have incredible friends, too. I really rely on my friends a lot. And Nicole being one of them, I always want her to read my script. I always want her to come to screenings. I always want to get her notes. I value her opinion so much, and her writing and her characters and her direction.
Thanks.
And yeah, and I mean, you give me so much.
Likewise.
You give me so many good ideas and so much, you know, so much good dialogue, and that's like, and to be open to getting ideas from friends and from people that are willing to give you ideas, and then it's ultimately your job to know what the movie's about, what the scene is about, what the moment is about, and that's what you have to hold on to from the beginning to the end.
Any advice? I think I can't even remember the beginning of the question.
No, advice you wish you'd maybe known before you became a filmmaker, something you learned by experience.
The only advice I could give, I give people is experiment.
Right.
Really go for it. Experiment. I mean, I remember my brief time in film school about crossing the line. Oh, you can't cross the line. Or you can't. You can't.
Meaning what?
Well, you know, the person that side shooting, you're going to say you can't cross the camera on that side, because it'd be like, you know. I thought, what is this? What is this? What is this? Oh, sorry, I swore. Sorry.
That's okay.
I thought to myself, what is this? What are these rules? And coming from film school, art school originally, it was all about experimenting and finding your own language. And I remember I wasn't allowed to throw the camera because I wanted to toss the camera there. It was a scene where some confusion. I'm like, oh, if you threw it in and it's all, you know, we'll get this wonderful image. And I wasn't allowed to. And that was my breaking point. I thought, okay, well, if I can't do that, I have to leave. Because you have to sort of stretch, you have to sort of use your body, you have to sort of find out what hurts and what works and whatever in order for you to sort of think, okay, that's how I want this thing to be done. So I think with all these restrictions, how can you find out who you are?
Right, that's great.
So
said.
experiment. You know, don't be afraid to look stupid.